What's up guys, how you doing? If you haven't been to my channel before, my name is Philip Scraba. I was putting up the neon sign yesterday and the spirit level, thing just fell and smashed the Philip. So at the moment it's just Scraba. My good friend Ukash from Neonoff, who made the neon, helped me fix it today. So at least the Scraba is on. It looks pretty cool, huh? It looks awesome. Anyway, today we're talking about this. Actually, this one and that one right there. Now, I bought these cameras about a year ago, the Sony A7III and the Sony A7R III, and I've used them for a year and I've used them a lot. A lot. I mean, a lot. Lots. So I felt today is a good day to do a review about these cameras. I've had enough experience with them, and I can tell you what I love about them and maybe what I don't love about them, and if they're still worth picking up. I mean, if I was to drop this camera in the sea, would I go out and buy it again today? Yeah. Remember, if you haven't, by the way, that would be really helpful. I would appreciate it so much. We've got like a 1,150 people in the community now, so if you subscribe, it's just gonna make your day a lot better, and it's gonna make mine awesome. So yeah, let's get into this review. You guys think I need a new intro for 2020? Just something a bit shorter, simple, maybe with a neon sign? Comment below. Anyway, this camera, it's pretty well known. Most YouTubers, most content creators have it. It's a full frame camera, and I've been using full frame since like forever. I started, with a Pentax, and then I had a Nikon F5, Nikon D800, Nikon D850. All I had at the beginning was like film stock, negative. So I was working in the darkroom a lot, and I love the feel, the look of 35mm. So a full frame camera for me is only natural. I've tried APS-C, but it just doesn't suit me. It may suit other people, but my personal love, passion is full frame cameras. So this guy, absolutely awesome for me. Let's talk about the build quality of this camera. And like I said, I used the Nikon D850 before I used this because I was a fanboy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a Nikon fanboy. And the only reason I switched to this guy was because of YouTube, and I wanted to get back into filmmaking. The Nikon D850 was a fantastic photography camera, but when I switched it over to film, the AF sucked, like, I mean, really bad. The actual, just anything to do with filming, the Nikon D850 just drops out of the competition. So absolutely no point for me. Especially filming YouTube. I mean, I can I can use the AF on this, and it's quite natural, organic, and it's fast. Definitely accurate as well. It's very accurate, especially in photos, ridiculously accurate. So since I always shot Nikon, and Nikon, the camera, it kind of fits like a glove to your hand. It's so ergonomically perfect. When I picked this up in a shop, I was like, no. It was like holding a brick. It's so jaggedy. It's like an old American car, American muscle, right? But I was convinced. I started playing with the menu, which is really complicated at the beginning. Started playing with the menu, and I thought, okay, yeah. So I went and picked one up, and a year on, I absolutely love it. Sure, it's like holding a tiny electronic brick in your hands, but I absolutely love this camera. So in terms of build quality, I mean, it looks, just check it out. It looks like I bought it yesterday. I mean, the finish on it is fantastic. It's a really well built camera. The menu on this camera is what makes this camera this camera. Now, it's really complicated. Like I said, it is ridiculously complicated. And I think I had to go through Make Art Now's how to set up your Sony A7 III about 20 times before I actually really felt the menu, because compared to the Nikon, Yeah, it's complicated, but now I love it. And after a year, I've kind of perfected. I wouldn't say perfected, sorry, Josh, but I've kind of, tuned it into my personal hybrid kind of shooting style, because I shoot a lot of fashion portraits, but I also shoot a lot of YouTube and passion films. So I've kind of perfected the menu to what I need, to my personal needs. So I'll be making a film on that just to show you quickly how and what I use. But the menu, if you guys can see, the menu is just, it goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. And it is a little complicated if you don't know what you're doing, but it's once you get it set up, all these buttons that you can see, C1, C2, C3, all these buttons, they can be personalized. So this camera, you're holding it and you're just like, and you don't have to think. Everything is right there. You don't have to go into menus. You just, So the first 2 weeks with this camera, I spent testing the color profiles, and the color profiles on this are really detailed. People either like using Cine, S-Log, or HLG. I'm a fan of HLG too. It's what came out best in my tests, especially for color grading, speed. It just makes my workflow really, really fast, and I don't feel like I have to do too much. And also the base ISO of 100 is perfect for me on HLG2. When it comes to image quality, filming on this is an absolute pleasure because I just feel everything comes out awesome. It's a 6K sensor, super sampled down to 4K. It does 120 frames in full HD, which I use a lot, I'm afraid. It's got 15 stops of dynamic range, so it's really nice to grade. And the Super 35 mode is fantastic because if I have like a 35mm lens like this, I just press Super 35, turn it into a 50mm lens, and I've got like 2 lenses, and you don't lose any quality when you're doing that. So that's a really, really awesome option. And low light, I mean, everybody knows this is a low light monster. It's like a bunny rabbit. This guy's eaten so many carrots, he can almost see in the dark. When it comes to my timeline, I film everything in 4K, and even like the full HD footage in slow-mo, I will upscale it to 4K, and I don't think anybody is the wiser. That's how good it looks. So when it comes to photos, which are really important to me because I shoot a lot of fashion, I shoot a lot of portraits, I do a lot of landscapes, I feel that this is an absolutely fantastic camera. Now the 42 megapixels on this compared to the 24 on the A7 III, it lets me crop in if I need to, though I'm not a fan of that. The skin tones are absolutely fantastic on both of them. I don't have any problem. Like I said, I shoot a lot of portraits. Skin tones are great. If something goes wrong, then I just go into Lightroom, and I always use a grey card, so there's absolutely no possibility that something could be off. If I need like fast shooting, it does 10 frames per second. That's crazy speed. So really, this is probably my favorite ever photography camera, the A7R III. I was worried a little bit about the EVF, the electronic viewfinder, because I came from optical viewfinders. On the A7 III, it really annoyed me that it's 60 Hertz and it's kind of a little bit laggy when you're looking through it. This one is twice the speed. It's 120 Hertz, so it's really sharp, it's really clean. The resolution is a little bit higher on the screen and the EVF than the A7 III. So this, hands down, is my favorite ever photography camera. I've used the Nikon D850 in full rain, and I mean full on rain, no problems at all. This guy, as it doesn't have any weather sealing at all. I mean, if you guys have a look at that, those ports are exposed. There is no weather sealing on a lot of the lenses. I mean, you have to pay some serious money to get weather sealing on a lens, and that's just something I don't understand, because surely a little tiny piece of rubber costs Sony nothing. So why they wouldn't weather seal it, no idea. The second thing is the screen. The screen is great if you're getting like low views, that's awesome. If you're getting kind of slightly higher views, you can also put it this way, but it doesn't flip out. So when I'm filming myself, I would like to be able to see exposure, framing, so I know it looks good, because you want to kind of look good, right? And if you do want to connect an external monitor and film yourself, that's cool, like I have down here at the moment, but face detection turns off. So, yeah, that kind of annoys me. And the last thing I'd like to, put out there is Sony Imaging Edge mobile app, which I did a film right here. It's an app that I feel is part of the ecosystem of this camera, and it's really cool because you can connect your phone and use it as an external monitor. But it lags, it doesn't have options like touch to focus. Sony rarely update it. It's something that I think that they should work on a little bit more to get, you know, this all working and being awesome. These batteries, they last forever. I mean, they last forever. Hands down the best batteries I've ever had. I normally do one shoot and there's like 50% left or 60. I'll do another shoot and it's still not dead. Same with filming. I can film and film and film. These batteries do not die. When it comes to glass, Sony has some awesome glass. Now the actual bodies may not be expensive, but the glass is really expensive. At the moment I've got the 35mm on there and it's 2.8 and it is a lens that I probably use the most for portraits, for photography, portraits, art photography, for portraits, for fashion, for landscapes. The 35mm 2.8 is an absolutely fantastic lens for me, and it is almost pancake. Look at that, it's tiny. And you know, like the GM lenses, like the 24-70 or the 16-35 right there, fantastic glass. Now to prove it, I'm going to make a few reviews over the next couple of weeks of all the glass I have and more, because I've got friends I can borrow from. So yeah, glass, top notch. There are two reasons why I love these cameras. One of them is IBIS, so in-body stabilization, and the other one is AF, autofocus. Now, I don't have many lenses with OSS. I've tried a few and that makes it just a lot smoother. So you can jump around like a kangaroo and have OSS and IBIS working together and it's almost smooth. But working without OSS doesn't really bother me because with steady footwork and nice smooth hands, you can get really smooth shots with the IBIS inside this camera. So IBIS, absolutely awesome on this camera. Autofocus. Now, I'm a big fan of autofocus, though I do use manual focus quite a lot as well. But when I'm shooting fashion or something quick, I need autofocus. Now, autofocus in video on this is really good, and I mean good. The face detection works really well. When it comes to photos, you've got like eye autofocus, which is amazing. In the recent update, all you have to do is press the button halfway down and it just pinpoints the eye straight away. And I've done it with models like 20-30 meters away, and I was just amazed at how well it works. So you forget about the whole point, hold, recomposition and shoot. This, you're just shooting away, and even if the model is in the corner here, it's signaling in, targeting in, if you may, on her eye or his eye, and even on animals' eyes. And every time the eyes are in focus and it's perfectly sharp, I don't have any problems. So the autofocus on this camera is one of the reasons of two that I absolutely love it. And because I started YouTube, I needed a good camera with autofocus, because I'm constantly, like you can see me on the thing right here, and I'm showing you something, so and you've obviously got options to make it faster, smoother. Fantastic. Autofocus on this, amazing. So if I lost this camera in the sea right now, or if I was at sea and I lost it and I wouldn't be able to find it, would I buy it again? Yes, and yes. Yes, I would, because this is an absolutely fantastic camera. I would run out and buy it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sony probably should be introducing the Sony A7RIII, the A7 IV in the next couple of weeks, months. And they're probably going to have like 6K, and they're going to have 4K slow motion. They're going to have loads of new autofocus capabilities, and the battery's probably going to last longer, and it's going to be a slightly different design. Sure, but it's probably going to be a lot more expensive. And do you really need it? I'm guessing not. You got to remember that it's you're the one that creates. And I think with a tool as good as this in your hands, you can make like films that almost look better than some of the Hollywood films. So yeah, I would buy this again. So if you have any questions about this camera, any questions at all, or the A7 III, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think about it, or if you'd like to buy one, you can ask me anything. Remember to, That's really going to help me, and I appreciate every single one of you that's subscribing. Yeah, catch you on the next one.